Thank you for watching this Hexagon Geospatial e-training module, Generating a Terrain Source in Geospatial Portal. In this module, you'll see how to generate a terrain source in Geospatial Portal. Geospatial Portal comes with 3D capabilities. With Geospatial Portal, you can visualize your 3D data and work with 2D native data in 3D mode. In other words, you can display co-shaped 2D data on the Geospatial Portal terrain source. We'll start with a 2D OpenStreetMap displayed. Currently, the 2D layer stack's dimensions are in 3D mode. This is because the default CEM applied to the Geospatial Portal has low resolution and is capable of representing the entire globe rather than detailed terrain in small scales. Your first step is to view your web configuration file to see where edits are needed. Minimize the web page and open Windows Explorer. Navigate to the default Geospatial Portal web.config. By default, this file is located in C, Program Files, Common Files, Hexagon, Services, Instances, Portal. Right-click web.config and select Edit with Notepad. Find the MyVR map control element. The definition for terrain source is left blank. The custom terrain source can be defined in the terrain source attribute in the MyVR map control section of the portal web.config. To generate the terrain source, you will open the M-Transformer tool. The M-Transformer tool can be run in a graphic mode with a GUI, but can also be run from a command line mode. You must use the command line mode if you want to generate the terrain source for Geospatial Portal. Before you run the terrain generation process, you must prepare the environment. Let's begin with adding variables and preparing inputs. First, you'll add system variables. From the Start menu, select Computer, Properties. The System window opens. Click Advanced System Settings to open this dialog. On the Advanced tab, click Environment Variables to open the Environment Variables dialog. Under the System Variables, click New. In the variable name field, type GDAL_DATA. In the variable value field, type C Program Files x86 Hexagon M-Transformer CSV, as you see here. Click OK. Repeat this step for each of the following sets that you see here. Once finished, click OK to close the Environment Variables dialog. Click OK to the System Properties dialog. Close the System window. Now let's prepare the input data. There are many supported DEM formats, including GeoTIFF, SRTM HDT format, AIG, USGS DEM, and ASCII gridded XYZ. For this module, we'll be using the SRTM HGT formatted DEM. Create a new destination folder for the generated terrain source and name it Output. Next, we'll prepare the configuration file for your project. The configuration file is the XML formatted file that provides a list of filters and parameters that are set and used for the tile generation process. Navigate to the configuration file. Right-click the configuration and select Edit with Notepad. Here in the configuration file, you must provide the path for the input data. Find the input path. For this example, the input path is C My Project Input. Once found, navigate to your DEM and copy its input path. Return to the configuration file. Delete the old input path, C My Project Input, and paste the new input path. In this case, it's E Input. In the configuration file, you must also define the output path. This is where the generated physical files will be stored. The key mandatory filter option for generating the DEM is, as you see here, Output to Raster Filter. Navigate to your DEM and copy its output path. return to the configuration file. Under Generate Tree from Tile 0, delete See My Project output and paste in the new output path. Under Output to Raster, delete See My Project output and paste in the new output path. Save the changes and close the configuration file. Now let's prepare the batch file that will generate the DEM. Navigate to the batch file. Right-click Generate DEM File and select Edit with Notepad. Here you specify the path to the mTransformer executable and your XML project file. In this example, my local dem.xml is the name of the configuration file. After the XML file name extension, add two greater than symbols. Change the file name extension to .txt. The file should now be mylocaldem.txt. If you omit the log file, all notifications will be displayed in the command line window where you run the batch file instead of the text file. Next, let's run the batch file in order to start the DEM generation process. Return to the batch file location. Right-click the Generate DEM file and click Run as Administrator. The command window opens. Refresh the window to see that My Local DEM text file is automatically created in the project folder. Open the My Local DEM text file to view its content. Close the file when you're done viewing the content. Depending on the amount and size of your data and the efficiency of the hardware, the entire process can take several minutes, hours, or even days. Once the batch file is finished running, the output data generated are placed in the storage and localization defined in the configuration file. Finally, we'll set up the Internet Information Service Manager to prepare the virtual directory in which you'll point the output folder. From the Start menu, click Administrative Tools, Internet Information Services ISS Manager. The ISS Manager opens. In the Connections panel, expand Test, Sites, Default Website. Right-click Default Website and click Add Virtual Directory. The Add Virtual Directory dialog opens. In the alias field, type mydem. In the physical path field, browse to or type the path to your output folder. Click OK. Click OK to close the Add Virtual Directory dialog. Next, add the MIME types. From the Connections panel, click Default Website. Click MIME types. From the Action panel on the right, click Add. The Add MIME type dialog opens. From the File Name Extensions field, type myVR. In the MIME type field, type application/OCTET stream. Click OK to add the MIME type. Close the Internet Information Services ISS Manager. Next, you'll tell your portal instance which terrain source, virtual directory, to use. To do this, you'll have to edit the web config file for your portal instance. Navigate to the web config file. By default, the web config file is located in C, Program Files, Common Files, Hexagon, Services, and your local instance folder. Open the Instance Portal folder. Right-click Web Config and click Edit with Notepad. Once open, find the My VR Map Control section. Notice there is a terrain source attribute that's empty. Fill in this attribute with the path to the virtual directory you created. For this exercise, type http test mydem. At the end of the virtual directory path, add the additional string you see here. Once complete, your path will look like the path shown, where test is the server name and mydem is the virtual directory name. Save the changes and close all windows. Now run Geospatial Portal. It's recommended that you clear the web browser cache from earlier before doing this. Zoom into an area to see detail. Click 3D View to switch to the 3D view. The display should no longer be flat and the terrain model is displayed. Thank you for watching this e-training module from Hexagon Geospatial. For more e-training, please visit hexagongeospatial.com/e-training.